you can ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? But a more powerful question would be, what does life want from me? The best thing you can do is to go into nature, because you need to find stillness. Stillness is the best way to do it, because stillness is beyond the thinking. That there was two, an I and a myself. And we think we are the brain. We think we are the thinking mind, but actually we are the awareness that's aware of the thinking. But most people are identified with their thinking. That is actually, if you will, a cage.
Hi guys, this is Annie. Welcome to Annie's Alchemia, the podcast. We are here in this soft learning space together to explore the importance of feeling. In each episode, I sit down with an inspiring guest to talk about alchemy. I started to feel so much better when I started to feel more. My wish is that you as a listener will feel inspired to feel more deeply, because that, to me, is alchemy. Let's dive in. Baptiste, welcome.
Anneke, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're the first guest in Annie's Alchemia, the podcast. We've had 2 conversations on the phone before.
Yes.
And now we are recording.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit nervous. I have to say that.
Yes.
It's like right now, with this whole team here today, like it's real.
Yes.
But when I was on the phone with you, I was like, I should have recorded this conversation. Yes. I want everyone to hear this. And it's interesting because I have been thinking about doing this podcast for a really long time. And a couple of weeks ago, I was in Ibiza and I was like feeling into who do I want to invite. And it was super random, actually, because at the time I was not yet following you on Instagram. Like years ago, I've read your book, both of them. And I was in Ibiza by myself and I woke up in the morning and I just randomly thought of you. I went onto your Instagram and started following you. And I was just like in this mood of like, I'm just going to write him and I'll see. And thankfully you responded and we like had a phone call. And you were willing to come. So thank you. Thank you for being here.
It's interesting because you said randomly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not randomly.
I don't believe it is.
Maybe it's not random.
No. Yeah. No, I don't believe it is.
Because did you feel it was like your intuition or?
Definitely.
What was it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Also because I find myself in Tolle in the beginning of this journey. So like also to ask like for a favor, for you to come here all the way to Amsterdam while you spend like a couple of hours, to speak to my listener, just to like ask for that. I could feel like my mind was kind of like making up all kinds of reasons, why not to. But then I had this feeling and I was just like, I might as well just give it a try. You also just got to be brave sometimes. And I felt into, okay, so what do I want the structure to be of all the episodes? And I would love for you to guide us through, like me, maybe even hear the people that are like part of the recording team. Like I find myself a bit nervous right now. Maybe you're not anymore because you're like used to public speaking. But even like for the listener, to really like right now just land here together with us.
Yes.
Maybe we can set an intention together. Maybe we can do a brief meditation to open up our hearts.
Yeah, we could do a heart coherence meditation.
Like a brief one. Like I would love for you to guide me through it.
Yeah, I would like to talk about it first so that everyone understands what we're going to do. So a heart coherence meditation is a meditation where we actually bring ourselves in a state of heart coherence. And what does that mean? This is a state where we experience love and gratitude in our hearts. And for the power of the heart, I went to California to interview the people from the HeartMath Institute. And HeartMath is an institute and they do research to not the spiritual heart, but the physical heart, let's say the pump. according to their science, when our heart is in a state of heart coherence, when we're experiencing love, gratitude, then the heart opens up, and the heart is sending signals to the brain, and the left and the right brain, they start to work together more, and they open up. So the more love we feel in our heart, the more our brain opens up, and the more our left and right brain start to sync and work together. And
it's like scientific proof.
This is science. So this is very important, because the more loving we become, the more intelligent we become. And this makes sense, because maybe you have been in a situation where, for an exam, or you did a test in school, and you really were very well prepared, but during the test you were a little bit nervous, just maybe like today, and you read the question, and somewhere you know that you know the answer, but you cannot come up with the answer right at that moment. And 2 hours later, you're back home, you're drinking your tea, you're relaxed, and all of a sudden you said, oh my God, I knew it, but I couldn't find the answer in my brain. And that is because when you're not in heart coherence, and you are in the opposite, fear, or you're nervous, then your brain...
like fight or flight.
Yeah, your brain shuts down, and you cannot get to that information. So if we are not in heart coherence, we actually become, let's say, more stupid, because our brain shuts down and we cannot access all the information that's available. And this is also the case for our intuition. Pim van Lommel, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a famous Dutch cardiologist. He did a lot of research into the near-death experiences. And when he actually says that our brain is not really created to work on its own. It's actually an interface for the higher consciousness. But you cannot access the higher consciousness when your brain is shut down. So that's why it's so important to be in a state of heart coherence, because we cannot only access more of our brain capacity, but also more of our higher consciousness, the higher self, the soul, and our intuition. So that's why I would like to start with.
Yeah, like I would love, like I can imagine, for example, like the listener listening right now to our podcast, like being in public transport, walking around the park. Like there's a lot going on outside. Once people like plug in their earphones, like press play, that we start off this episode with a little brief meditation.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll guide you through it. Okay, I would like to invite everyone to close their eyes and put your hand on your heart. And start to, let's say, rub your heart. And start to feel your heart. Start to feel your heart and rub your heart. Because that's the first step you can do to bring yourself into a state of heart coherence. Feel your heart. Become really conscious. And feel your heart, rub your heart. Okay, and now think about a place that you really love. Think about a place that you really like to be, that you really enjoy. It could be a place in the forest. It could be a place in nature. A place where you really enjoy being. And imagine that you're there, in that place that you really love. And look at the place and really take it in, the energy of that place. And feel the gratitude for that place in your heart. Feel the appreciation for that place. And you're there, you smell the place, you see everything that's beautiful about this place, and you feel calm, you feel peaceful. And keep rubbing your heart, keep feeling your heart, and feel the love, the appreciation, and the gratitude for this place. And you feel calm, you feel centered, and you feel the appreciation and the gratitude in your heart. And what we're going to do now is we're going to breathe in love to our heart. We visualize love or light coming into our heart. And we breathe it in. And then we hold it for a few moments. And then we breathe it out through our heart. And then again, we breathe love into our heart again. We hold it. And then we hold it for a moment. And then we breathe it out again. And we keep rubbing our heart. And maybe you start to feel some feelings in your brain. You feel that your brain is opening up. You feel the right side of your brain, the left side of your brain, and you feel that your brain is feeling really relaxed. It's opening up, and you feel that there is a strong heart and brain connection. Okay, and we're going to breathe into our heart again. We hold it for a few moments. We hold it, we hold it, we hold it, we hold it, and then we breathe out love again. And we're going to do this again. We breathe in through our heart. We hold the love right there. We hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and we breathe it out. And again, we breathe in through our heart. We hold it, and then we breathe out. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. We breathe in through our heart. You feel the love in our heart. Okay, and then we breathe it out. Okay, keep your eyes closed. And now think about the person, or maybe it could be your pet, the person you love the most, or maybe it's your pet. For some people, it's their pet they love most. And think about this person, the person you love most, and feel the love and appreciation for this person, or maybe this pet. See this person in front of you and feel the love and appreciation for this person. And think in your mind, I love you. Feel the love for this person. I love you. I really love you so much. And feel the love and appreciation for this person or this pet. Doesn't matter. Feel the love and appreciation. And feel how your heart is growing and growing and growing in love. And how your heart becomes lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Because of the love and appreciation and gratitude you feel for this person. And keep rubbing your heart and feel how your heart opens and how the heart-brain connection and the heart coherence also opens up your left and right brain. Okay, just a few more moments. Feel the love and appreciation for this person that you really loved. Okay. And now you say, in your head, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you for this person, for this beautiful place. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this person and this beautiful place. And feel the gratitude for this place and for this person. And also feel the love and the gratitude for this place and for this person. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And we breathe in through our heart one more time. We hold it there, we hold the love. And then we breathe out. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes.
Thank you so much. Like this, the feeling that I experience right now, I just want everyone's experience. Like this is the reason. It was definitely not random that I woke up in the morning thinking about you.
I can see a change in your eyes now. There's not a twinkle now.
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning of the meditation, I started to yawn.
Yeah.
And then that was the moment the most tension left.
Yeah.
But now what I noticed, like my eyes are still a bit watery, my voice is lower. I feel myself sitting here on the couch.
You're more grounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what surprised me during this meditation? Like I've never experienced this before. I thought of myself, the person that I love the most.
That's a good thing.
Like I was like, huh? Like you were like guiding me through it. And I was like, my mind was like telling me, why are you thinking about yourself? You have so many people to think of, Yeah. But I just kept.
Well, there's this student that went to its spiritual master, and the student asked, Master, how should I treat other people? Right? And the master said, there are no other people. I mean, at the, let's say, core level, there's only one consciousness. Mm-hmm. Everyone is a reflection of you. So that's why it's important to love yourself first. Not because you're egocentric, but because it's the foundation on how you treat other people. If you don't love yourself, it's impossible to love other people.
Yeah, I noticed that there is some kind of judgment that I thought of myself.
Yeah.
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 So Baptiste, we dove right in.
Yes.
But for the listener who does not know you, who does not know who Baptiste is,
yes.
You are the writer of The Power of the Heart, the book.
Yeah.
You've just mentioned Pim van Lommel, that you've traveled also to California to do research about the heart.
Yeah.
Can you tell the listener a bit more about your work, what it is that you do, what you feel passion for?
Yes, absolutely. So I started out as a lawyer here in the city of Amsterdam, but I really felt that was not my calling. And I was going through a real challenge. I was like, I studied hard to get here, but this is not really what I want. And I started really to research at that time on Google. We didn't have ChatGPT yet. How can you find your purpose in life? That was really my question. How can I find my purpose in life? And I stumbled upon a video where Oprah Winfrey at the time was in conversation with Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is the author of The Power of Now. And the video started with the fact that they were talking about that there's nothing more important than finding out why you're here. What is your purpose in life? And Eckhart said, yes, that's the most important question. But if you want to find answers to that question, you can ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? But the more powerful question would be, what does life want from me? What does life want from me? And I was like, whoa, that's a very deep question, because I always ask, what do I want? What do I want? But it had not made me very happy, asking that question. So I was like, maybe I should ask the other question. What does life want from me?
But you working as a lawyer,
yeah,
how did you feel that something was off? How did you feel that it was not it?
It was energetically that I felt like, the element of a fish is to swim, and the element of a bird is to fly. And I was like, this, being a lawyer, doing this work, is not my element. And it was an energetical thing. I was like, I'm intelligent enough to do it. I'm able to do it, but I don't feel like I belong here. I didn't feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And this is not a rational thing. This is not a logical thing. This was just an energetical thing that I was feeling. I was like, something is off.
Like something is off, but you cannot point your finger to it.
Exactly. I couldn't really pinpoint what is it. And that's why I started to research, because we all recognize the feeling when we're like, okay, this is like exactly what I'm supposed to do, because you feel flow, you feel like you belong, you feel at home, you feel like, time. You feel like you're in a timeless dimension. When you do something you love, you're like, oh yeah, oh, this feels good. And I didn't love it. And I was like, okay, is this going to be my life? Because, I just started, and I was like, okay, am I going to do this for the rest of my working life? Or a little bit like, is this it? And so I started to research, how can I find what I'm supposed to do? So, how can I find my purpose in life? So
you just Googled it.
I Googled it. I stumbled upon this video where Oprah Winfrey and Eckhart Tolle were in conversation. So he said, if you want to find your purpose in life, then you can ask, what do I want? But the more powerful question would be, what does life want from me? And he said, if you want to find answers to this question, the best thing you can do is to go into nature, because you need to find stillness. Stillness is the best way to do it, because stillness is beyond the thinking. We have our brain and it's thinking all the time, but it's not who we really are. Eckhart Tolle, he was doing his PhD at Cambridge, and he was suicidal. He said, I cannot live with myself anymore. And at that moment, he realized that there was two, an I and a myself. And we think we are the brain. We think we are the thinking mind, but actually we are the awareness that's aware of the thinking. But most people are identified with their thinking, and that is actually, if you will, a cage. Because if you identify with something that you are not, you cannot really connect with your true element, which is the higher self, the soul, whatever you want to call it. And people say, okay, that's really abstract. But if you look at the near-death experiences, and we have so many stories about this, is that people describe that when they are passing over, then they're able to see themselves floating above the body, in, let's say, in the hospital, and they can register everything, and their brain is shut down at the same moment. And when they're back after the near-death experience, they can testify about everything that happened in the room, and the doctors say it's not possible. But it means...
but it is abstract, because it's something that the brain can never comprehend.
Exactly, because it is not the brain. But we are really consciousness in a body. We are energy in a body. If you look at near-death experiences, people who experience this, they describe that they are in a timeless dimension. So time does not exist in the dimension. So when we're in the body, we experience time. When we're out of the body, there is no time. So the body is really a vantage point in which we experience time. What they also experience, that we are, in fact, love. We are even more than love. We are unconditional love. That's our essence. So we're energy, which is unconditional love in a body. And then another thing that they experience is that they can access all information. So we are also infinite intelligence. There's a woman, Anita Moorjani. She was in a hospital in Hong Kong, and she was suffering from lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymphatic system.
Anita Moorjani is also a lady you interviewed for the book, right?
Yeah. I met her a few times, and I spoke with her, and she's not in this book, The Power of the Heart, but in my other book, Manifestation Perfected. And she describes the being out of the body. She was able to see everything that happened in the hospital. She was in a hospital in Hong Kong, but her brother was at an airport in India trying to catch a plane to Hong Kong to be able to see her. And she could see her brother. She could see the doctors in the other room. She could see everything. And so she was like, oh, I mean, I can see everything. But she could also see in time, because time didn't exist, which is, of course, a paradox. But she saw that, I mean, I don't know, do you believe in reincarnation?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, me too. But she says it really doesn't exist. From that dimension where she was, it's all parallel lives. Everything is happening at the same time. And it's for our mind, it's really hard to grasp. Okay.
Yeah, I also recognize that right now, listening to you, I'm like, I can feel that it's true because it resonates.
Yeah.
But my mind is like, huh?
Yeah.
Hold on,
That's the real paradox. So if it's true that we are, in fact, infinite intelligence, unconditional love, and timelessness, why would we incarnate in a body? is it to learn? Well, if you're already infinite intelligence, why would you want to learn more? Because you know everything. But I'm going to ask you a question. If you are just energy, right? How does chocolate taste?
Yeah, we're here to experience.
Yeah. How is it to embrace someone? How is it to smell a flower if you're just energy? You can't. Not in the same way. How is it to make love?
So if we think about Eckhart, and he recognized there's the I, and then there's the myself.
Yeah.
Then I'm trying to somewhat comprehend it.
Yeah.
The I would be like the soul, and then the myself would be what you just referred to, somewhat like this cage, this physical vehicle that we're in.
Yeah.
So we're here on Earth in this physical vehicle to learn, to grow, to experience, to smell.
I think to experience, not. I mean, it is. I think we're here to have experiences. The same way you maybe you like to go to the film theater or watch a movie on Netflix or HBO. Why do you do that? Why do you watch movies?
Yeah, to experience. Yeah.
Because okay, it's a comedy, it's a thriller, it's an action movie or whatever. You know that it's going to be that kind of experience. But while you watch the movie, I mean, do you sometimes cry when you see good?
Yeah.
You know it's not real, but still you cry because you're completely involved in the movie, and you like that experience, But at the same time, and on another level, it's not real, and that's exactly what life is. It is all not real in the sense that it's not our essence. Our material world is inherently fleeting. That means that nothing will stay the same. Everything will change.
Time passes.
Yeah, but also you will get older. People will die. You will lose your stuff. Everything will happen eventually, right? But what is the thing that remains?
My soul.
Yeah. It's also the story of the Buddha. The Buddha, he was not looking for spiritual enlightenment. He was looking for a way out of suffering. And he saw that we suffer because we identify with everything that we are not. We are not the body, we're not our mind, we are not the material stuff, we are not our boyfriend, we're not our girlfriend, we're not our mother, our father, but we identify with all these things and they disappear, and then we start to suffer. And all suffering comes from identification with everything that is fleeting.
So your soul,
is the only thing that's real. Yeah.
You just have this really ambitious soul that was like,
it's more ambitious than your mind. I can tell you that. Yeah.
So you were just like, okay, hold on, something's off. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be more.
Yeah, and energy. So Martin Luther King said this very well. He said, "You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step." Like, you had this intuition that you wanted to, give me a call or approach me or send me a message.
Would you share with the listener that river analogy that you shared with me on the phone?
I will do that. So the thing is that if you just, because we are taught to our education is really linear, logical, rational, but our soul works in a different way. It works in energy, and it speaks to us in energy. So, what is the relationship between the mind, the personality, let's say, and the soul? So when you're on a boat on a river, and when you are the mind can only see the next bend, the next turn on the river. But when you are the soul can see the whole river from source to sea. But the problem is we are not taught to listen to our soul. And I think the heart is the seat of the soul, where we experience the messages from our soul first. And the only thing how you can learn to, let's say, work with your soul and trust your soul is by experimenting with it. So every time when you have to make a decision, you can look at all the pros and all the cons, but you can also, what are all the pros and all the cons to do this? And you can, take your mind into the equation. But it's also very powerful to say, okay, how does it feel when I go left? How does it feel when I go right?
Well, that is scary.
That's really scary because you're not used to doing it.
Yeah.
But if you start to do it, and I've been using my intuition for over 15 years now, it's magical. You start to experience synchronicities. You meet the right people. You feel that something bigger is carrying you, showing you the way. The universe is guiding you. And synchronicity is a word coined by Carl Jung. And it means that you, on a deeper level, immediately know that there is a power, that there's a purpose behind what you're doing. And nothing is random, because we started with the word random. Nothing is random. Everything is orchestrated by a higher universe. But you cannot see the synchronicities if you're not tapped into your soul, because synchronicities happen all the time. And a lot of people say, I never experienced synchronicities. Yes, they are still happening, but you don't see them because you're not tapped into your soul and your intuition.
Yeah, I have to think about the book The Alchemist from
great
Paulo
book,
Coelho. Yeah. That this boy Santiago, he's like taking off on this journey to find a treasure, and he just takes off like based on this feeling, this recurring dream that he has.
Yeah.
But he goes off on this journey. He doesn't know where to go.
No.
But he just takes off and he's following the signs of life.
Yeah.
You know, like he looks at those signs from nature, you know, the birds flying by, the things happening in the desert, you know.
Yeah.
But I keep right now coming back to you as a lawyer, and then in the end traveling the world, telling people about the book and like the movie that was created from it.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine right now a listener listening and being like, okay, interesting, good for you, Baptiste, but where do I start? What do I do?
Well, I think the first thing is to start with a few questions. And a very important question is maybe not what does life want from me, but how do I feel right now? The element of a fish is to swim, and the element of a bird is to fly. And, you know, we all go to, let's say, what I call linear, rational, logical education. That's our education system. But our education system is not created to find our element.
To feel. We never learn to feel.
But we all have an element. And if we don't live our element, we are going to run into some big problems. And I'll tell you why. So let's talk about me, because maybe I'm a good example. My mind, my personality wanted to become a hotshot lawyer, partner with a big international law firm here in Amsterdam. And my soul said, no, that's not why you're here, right? So your personality wants to do this and your soul wants to go there.
It's interesting because I also did an attempt to finish my bachelor in law.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. And I recognized this.
Yes.
That I also thought that I wanted it.
Yeah. Your parents are also lawyers.
Yeah, my parents are both lawyers.
Yeah.
So it was somehow like this, maybe an expectation, not necessarily from them, but I thought that I wanted that.
Yeah, but it's a programming. Yeah. I mean, I went through that programming as well. I was expected, they said, okay, you have 3 options: economics, medicine, or law. And I was like, you know, that's... But that's not what my soul wanted. So the soul is who you really are. That's the energy, the consciousness we talked about. And the personality is what you think you are, but it's not real. But a lot of people only live from, let's say, the mind to personality. But when there is a conflict between the two, you run into some big problems because you feel cut off from your aliveness. Right? We are energy, we are aliveness. And when we are not listening to that aliveness, we really get depressed. Maybe it takes some time, but what I learned from all the people that I've interviewed, and I also interviewed Paulo Coelho, he knew that when he was a little child that he wanted to become an author. And his father was a successful businessman. He said, no, Paulo, as an author, you cannot make a living. And he was really stubborn. He still wanted to become an author. And they brought him to an institution, and they did all kinds of things to change his mind. And there are books written about it. There's a movie about it. And so he was really tortured in Brazil as a young boy because they thought he was crazy. And his father wanted him to become a successful businessman, just like him. And he really had to fight to become an author. First, he started to write songs, lyrics for songs in Brazil. He became very successful with that. And later on, he started to write, but he wrote his first book only when he was 40. And now he's one of the most celebrated authors in our world. And he said, I just felt that I had to do it. And
it's a feeling.
It's a feeling, yeah. And I think it's really important that we start to feel again what we are, because we are sentient beings. We are not computers with a brain. We have a brain, but the brain is supposed to be the servant of the soul. So an important term is authentic power. So authentic power is when your personality starts to serve the energy of the soul. So my personality, let's say the lawyer, started to listen to the energy and said, okay, you want to make a film about the heart? Okay, I didn't know anything about film production. I didn't know anything about the heart, but the personality has good management qualities. It can be a good manager. So if this personality starts to serve the energy of the soul, then
like the
soul
execution
that's here and the personality that's here, they come together, and then you are at your most powerful. That's what they call authentic power. You can be powerful. You can have external power. Someone who has a big army has external power. But when your personality starts to serve the energy of the soul, you become authentically powerful. And that's the people we admire in our society. I mean, some of them, right? The people who are really in the center of their being, working from the center of their being, working from their element. And we know those people, right? It can be people in sports. That's why do we love to watch tennis? Why do we love to watch Djokovic or other people? Because when they are at the top level playing, they are completely in the zone, and we're just in the flow, and we're just watching them. You know, it's really strange that we like to watch a ball going from one side of the net to the other side of the net, and are completely immersed in that energy. That's because those two people there are really in their flow. They've been practicing, and I play tennis too. But when you're really in the zone, it's the best feeling ever.
And there's no time.
Exactly. Yeah. And but we also have it with top musicians. We love to go to a concert and see top musicians play. They're in the zone. You cannot get to that top level if you don't love it. I mean,
so again, if I imagine like going to an amazing concert.
Yeah.
In Munich, I went to this concert from Adele. Like, I forgot about time.
Yeah.
You know, so how, like, this could be a signal that you're doing something that you truly love, that you feel good, you know, that you forget about time.
Yeah.
Or I have to think about this meditation that we just did, is when I am really relaxed.
Yeah.
When I feel comfortable around people, I tend to yawn. You know, I feel comfortable enough to do so.
Yeah.
What are other signals or like symptoms that we can feel I find myself in a good place?
Yeah.
I spend time around the right people.
Yeah.
Like this state of like authentic power, right?
Yeah.
This sense of flow.
Yeah.
What are examples of that?
Well, let's go to you first, because you're a great example too. When do you really feel like, oh, this is my element? When do you really feel in the zone? When do you really feel flow?
When I feel like I can be myself.
Okay. But do you like to walk in nature, or is it like when you're...
Yeah. When I get back into my body, I would say.
Okay.
So for example, I have to think about taking a yoga class, take a walk in the forest. When you were guiding me through the meditation, I visualized myself in the ocean in Ibiza, you know, like in nature.
Yeah.
I also have to think about my two pets, my two dogs, Luna and Bella, you know?
Yeah.
But I believe the overlap between all of those is that you're in the here and now.
Yeah.
When I'm in my body, when I do a meditation, when I do breath work, when I'm with my best friends, I'm in the here and now, just being Annie.
You're being,
know?
Yeah. So I interviewed all these wonderful people, Isabel Allende, Jane Goodall, Paulo Coelho, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, and I asked them, how can you connect with that energy? And they all said something different. And the reason is that we all have a different blueprint, a different soul imprint, if you will. So Paulo Coelho said, I feel that connection with the now or the heart or the soul when I'm writing. He completely feels that he's in a timeless dimension when he writes. And Isabel Allende said the same thing. And Eckhart Tolle said, I feel that connection when I'm in the now, when I'm meditating, or when I'm speaking. I mean, with Eckhart Tolle, I don't know if you've ever saw him live, but when he's speaking, he's channeling. He's opening up that vortex, that other dimension, the soul, and he's just speaking from that level. When he's in his personality, he's just a totally different person. I spent 3 days with him, and he was totally different than what you see on YouTube or on stage. But he opens up that channel, and then he's channeling that
consciousness.
That consciousness, yeah. Deepak Chopra said, I feel it when I'm meditating. Maya Angelou said, I feel it when I'm singing, when I'm praying, when I'm writing. Jane Goodall said, I feel it when I'm working with animals in nature. And some people said, I feel it when I'm dancing. Other people said, I feel it when I'm playing music.
But what keeps coming back is the feeling.
Yeah, it's a feeling place. Yeah. It's a doing thing. That's why people love to do yoga, or they go to the gym, or they do sports, because it takes them out of their mind, right? It brings them into the body, and the body is, of course, the place where we start to experience the energy of our soul, because the body is really like the place where it's really the portal that connects our soul with this material world.
Yeah.
So when we feel bad, we are disconnected from our soul at a certain level. And when we are in a stage where we've experienced love, gratitude, we start to feel lighter. It's really interesting, because the energy of our soul is always light. When we are in happiness and when we're joyful, when we feel grateful, we feel light energy. Mm-hmm. And when we are anxious or in fear, everything becomes heavy. And that's because the energy of our soul is really light. It's joyful. And the opposite of that is feeling heavy. So you can really feel if you're really connected with your aliveness, with your soul or not.
Yeah, I think, this sense of feeling that something's off, you do not know what it is. Maybe it's about asking yourself the question, but do I experience contentment?
Yeah.
Do I experience flow? Am I observing synchronicities?
Yeah.
That you're like, huh? Like, is this really happening? I have to think about seeing symbols.
Yeah.
Like my symbol really is the butterfly. Yes. If I see like butterflies flying by or something, that's what I experience. Yeah. Like nature, life, giving me wings, of like being on the right path. But the overlap keeps being the feeling, the act of feeling.
Yeah.
And if I think about alchemy, alchemy is also quite an abstract concept.
Yeah.
But to me, at least, it means the act of feeling. So The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho really is my favorite book.
I understand why.
Yeah, and there's this quote that I don't want to quote him because I don't know the quote by heart, but it has something to do like that the suffering that we experience, that it's more about the fear of the suffering than the actual suffering itself.
Yeah.
Could you help me debunk that a bit?
Well, the fear of suffering is a mental thing, because fear is really not real. I mean, fear is edging the soul out in a way. So fear is lack of trust in the intelligence and the power of the soul.
It's like this cage.
Yeah. It's being identified with who you are not. Again, if we are really those three things that we started with, unconditional love, infinite intelligence, timelessness, and energy, then we have nothing to fear. Even if you die right now, you're back source energy, right? So there's nothing to fear. So fear is always identification. It can be mentally, but also energetically with what we are not. You have nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear, but it's a concept that we all experience. Oh, I'm fearful that this is going to happen or that is going to happen. But if you really understand who you really are, then you have nothing to fear.
Yeah, if I would have listened to my fear, then any Alchemia would never be here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to fill in the blanks here, but I don't believe that if you would have listened to your fear, then the book or the movie would not have been here, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. So I don't know if you know who Maya Angelou is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had an incredible life. Amazing. And she was one of the most charismatic people that I ever met. I interviewed her in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And
For the book.
For the film and the book, yeah. And she said this, and it's really important. If you want to live from the heart, and the heart is the seat of the soul, so if you want to live from the soul, then the first virtue that you have to develop is courage. Okay, now let's look at the word courage. In Latin, there's the word cor. Cor means heart. In French, in the French language, we say cœur is heart. So the word heart is in the word courage, right there. So why do we need courage if we start to live from our soul? Because when you start to live from your soul, you're not listening to your parents anymore, your friends, your colleagues, the government, the prime minister. No, you're not listening to an outer authority anymore. You're listening to an inner authority. You're listening to an inner voice. And nobody's going to understand it in the beginning. Just like with Paulo Coelho, he wanted to become an author and nobody understood it. They said, Paulo, you cannot make a living as an author. Now, he became very wealthy with selling books, right? He sold like 500 million books, but that was not the point. His soul wanted to do it. But the thing is, he felt that this is the thing energetically that he wanted to do. And he had the courage to stick with it, although it was really hard for him because he had all those energies, all those people that were opposing him. But it is really important that you understand that if you really want to live from your heart and your soul, that you have to derive courage because your most important authority becomes your inner voice, the energy. And people will not understand it. When I said, okay, I'm not going to be a lawyer, I'm going to make a film about the heart, everyone thought I was nuts for like 5 years. Yeah.
So it's also a transition. It's not like a jump.
No. It's a transition. But I knew that my inner voice was wiser, more intelligent than all the voices outside of me. And this is what you're doing now also with your podcast. Yes, your personality is afraid. And yes, people are maybe saying, oh, Anneke, oh, what is she doing now? It's not wise, blah, blah, blah. But you are honoring your inner voice. And if you have the courage to keep honoring it, it will lead you from source to sea. It will lead you to your real destiny. You will live from your element. It will be the most fulfilling thing you've ever done. And you will experience magic. You will experience flow. You will meet people because, and this is very important, what I have learned is, yes, our personality can be ambitious, right? I mean, the highest thing that my personality could manifest for me in this life was become partner with a big law firm. That would have been my life. But the soul said, no, we're going to make a film and we're going to write a book and it will be all over the world. It's in over 80 countries, in over 45 languages. My mind could never come up with that. I could not imagine that. Do you understand?
You know that a couple of days ago, I did not even have a podcast team yet.
Yeah.
Like I had already invited you and those other guests that are coming over. And then so many things happened that up until a couple of days ago, I didn't have a team.
Yes.
And then my mind was like, am I supposed to be doing this?
Yes. And now the room is packed with people.
Yeah. And that's really something magical happened this week.
Yes.
It's crazy. I never could have come up with this solution. Never, ever.
You honored that inner voice and you had the courage to pursue it.
Yeah, but you know what was the most scary point? That I really asked myself the question. No, I kind of surrendered. I asked life the question, well, okay, then show me. Is it not supposed to happen then? But asking myself that question was really scary for the ego.
Yes.
Because I was like, imagine that the question is, no, Annie, you're totally off here. You know, because then it would be like, but you've already told people about it. You've already invited over your guest. You have created this Instagram account with those followers that you've told about the podcast. You know, so many fears came up. And then it was like this domino effect. The moment that I surrendered and like faced my fear, what I then do is I just play out that little movie in my head.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's the worst that could happen?
Yes.
Okay, then I would have to cancel all my guests, call them, and be like, I don't have a team. But then I experience like shame. I experience fear, insecurity. And actually, last night, I watched this video clip of Khloe Kardashian.
Yes.
And she also launched like her own podcast series. And she was like sharing this story that she has recently turned 40 and that she set the intention for herself to follow her dreams. And that right now she's like executing all of them because she's like, don't wait for people to believe in you. Like she was just like, I've just been doing that for too long. And right now I just turned 40. Yeah. And right now I just jump. Otherwise this podcast series would never have been here. And I was watching that last night and I was like, I'm recording tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. No, it's beautiful what you said. I mean, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to believe in you. Mm-hmm. Do you understand how it works? You have to pursue what your soul wants relentlessly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that everyone, will, publish a book all over the world or do a film and that's all over the world. That's not what it's about. It's about honoring that whisper of your soul. It can be in your own community. It doesn't have to be a thing that's big to the world.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it could also be that people do actually experience a sense of contentment and fulfillment when they are a lawyer, for example.
Yeah, and absolutely. Yeah. I have a friend who loves to be a lawyer, and he's completely in his element. I said, I was born to be a lawyer. Well, it turns out I'm not born to be a lawyer, but he is, and he loves to do it. If I go to my garage, there's a guy there, and he's, underneath the car working. And when I see him, he's completely happy. He says, that's what I want to do, work on cars the whole day. He's so happy. That's his element. So it doesn't have to be, we don't have to become like J.K. Rowling or Oprah Winfrey or Michael Jordan. That's not the thing. It's about honoring the voice of your element, of your soul.
Yeah, but you know why I was so scared to drop out of law school?
Because of the pressure of your parents? Or?
No, it was my own pressure.
Okay.
Because I did not know what the alternative would be.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. Like, I never thought of any Alchemia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then there was the question, so what then? Like, Annie, what are you going to do then? So it's also this almost having to close a door before another one opens. Like, I remember there was like this, I moved to Munich from Italy and I stopped with law school, not because I didn't want to finish it. Like, I had already written my thesis. I had only 2 more exams to do. And I had a migraine. I got a migraine every single time when I would open up my books.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a joke.
No.
It was, at a certain point, I was just like, I was literally like studying like this, like with my one eye closed, because I was like, I'm almost there.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise it's like 3 years and like all of this time and energy gone to waste.
Yes.
But I couldn't anymore, like physically. My physical body was showing me like I had like high fever. I was covered in eczema, poor digestion. I wasn't sleeping. So I didn't have a choice. I have to be honest here. Otherwise, I would have finished it.
Yeah.
But right now, looking back, I'm actually grateful.
Yeah.
because sitting here chatting to you, I enjoy right now what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But while I was studying law, I never even asked myself the question, do I enjoy what I'm doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah. I understand it because I never enjoyed it when I was in law school, but it was just expected of me, so I felt that pressure too. And it doesn't help when you have a bright mind. So you know you're able to do it, right? For some people, they cannot even do it. And I'm not saying law school is so hard, but you need to have a certain kind of focus to do it.
Like it's more analytical, right?
Yeah. So it can be a curse, actually. If you know, I'm intelligent enough to do this, I should be able to do it. So then you're really pushing yourself because, I can do this and I'm expected to do it, so I will do it. But your soul is like, no. And I mean, it was not really your body that was protesting, but you were experiencing it through your body because it was really your soul. And the soul and the body, there's an incredible connection because we are mind, body, spirit. Spirit is the soul. And when you are not honoring the voice of your soul, not honoring the energy of the soul, then these kinds of things happen. That's what will happen. That the body will experience something. You can experience depression, or you have eczema, things like that, and it's your body's expressing what your soul is trying to communicate to you.
It's actually like life giving me signs.
You're not honoring your element, and the thing is, you cannot even, from your mind, you cannot even imagine what your element is. It's a thing that you have to feel. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel right now at this moment?
Yeah, in flow.
Okay, you feel the flow.
Yeah, forgetting about time.
Yeah, so it's better than looking in those law books.
Definitely, but also what's coming up for me is, like, I had the privilege that I could be like, I drop out.
Yeah.
Because at the time I did not have to make a living for myself.
Yeah.
But I remember this like time frame of like, let's say 2 years.
Yeah.
I would describe it almost like as a void that was really scary.
Yeah.
Because I loved that shield of like protection, of being able to say, no, I study law. And then there were those 2 years when people would ask me, and Annie, what is it that you do? And I was like, nothing. You know how scary that was to say nothing?
Yes, and you were so close at the same time to finishing that bachelor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the moment that people ask you, what is it that you do? Then you're not saying, I almost finished my bachelor. That's not when you respond to that question,
Yeah.
But that would then be the ego.
Yeah.
The mind that has difficulty saying,
Yeah.
Because I also have to be honest with you, like, I start off this conversation asking you, Baptiste, can you explain to my listener who it is that you are? And then I'm straight away going to your book. Obviously, you're not your book.
No. If I give the best answer, it would be I'm infinite consciousness.
Yeah.
Temporarily having a physical experience in his body.
Yeah.
And I'm not Baptiste, really.
Yeah.
Baptiste is just it's the vantage point, it's the perspective. You are not you, really. You are not Anake. Anake is the perspective. There's infinite consciousness looking through your eyes and experiencing everything, and you start to identify with Anake, but you are not Anake.
Like this, when you say this, it's the same feeling when I read your book. I feel that it's true.
Yeah.
It resonates.
Yeah.
But my mind cannot comprehend what it is that you're saying.
Okay. Imagine that you would die right now on the spot. Mm-hmm. What would happen? Okay, your soul, your spirit would leave the body. Mm-hmm. The spirit is everywhere, actually. But you would, see everyone here in the room. You would hover above your body and would see everything. And you're like, oh, there's the body. The Anake body is there, but I'm still alive. I'm still aware. I can still feel, but I feel not through the body. I just feel energy. And that's who you are. Mm-hmm. But maybe it sounds scary, but that's who you really are. And you will have that experience sooner or later.
Yeah, it sounds scary and beautiful at the same time.
Okay, I'll tell you this story. Maybe it's a little bit exotic, but it really happened. So I had an encounter with a shaman who lives in the Schwarzwald, the Black Forest in Germany. And he lived there for years. He was originally from London, and he decided to become a shaman. So he first went to South America to learn everything about shamanism. And then he started to live in the Schwarzwald in Germany. He had a little community there. And he came to Utrecht to do a workshop. And I went there. And after the workshop, I had an encounter with him. We had an interview just like, us sitting here. And he was in such a high vibration. And he said, it's really hard for me to come to the city because in the forest, I'm in a much higher vibration and I want to stay in that vibration. So I will not stay here for very long. But I was sitting across from him, and just like we are sitting here right now, and his body started to dissolve, really. It became fluid, it became energy. And I just saw two eyes and a body of, let's say, light. It was really, a very interesting experience. So,
were other people in the room too?
No, it was only us. And he was looking at me, of course, and I just saw his eyes, and the rest was just light around him. And I looked at myself, and I started to dissolve as well. And so we were seeing each other's energy, each other's spirits or souls, if you will. And but it was because he was living in that frequency the whole time, and he was able to lift me up to his frequency. And I saw his true being, not the body, his energy, his soul. And he took me to that level just for, I think, maybe 30 minutes. I was there. And it was amazing.
Then you did not experience any more that physical touch?
No. I felt so light. I felt like, something was just carrying me. I was floating. It was an amazing experience. There's this song from this guy who was part of Queen, the guitarist, Brian. I forgot his last name, Brian. He has this song, Too Much Love Will Kill You. I don't know if you know this song. Too much love will kill you. If the thing is, we are not really afraid of the fear or the low vibration. We are running away from love most of the time. We are sabotaging ourselves most of the time because our body can only contain, let's say, so much love. And in a way, we are unconsciously sabotaging ourselves. We are running away from love all the time. Love is the thing we fear the most. This sounds strange, but that's who we really are, love. And
because it can be so overwhelming.
Yeah. So people, when they have the near-death experience, they're in this bath of light. They only experience love and light, and they never want to go back. And what they experience when they come back into the body, because most of the time they are told, okay, you have a mission, you have to go back, your life is not over yet. They experience, just the experience from being there, going back into the body. They describe it as going into a very heavy suit. Like if you would be in a very heavy suit, you're first not in a suit, and all of a sudden you're in a suit, and it's very heavy, and there's gravity, and you move very slowly. That's really basically the experience of being born. That's why babies cry most of the time. Dying is a very easy experience, really, because we go back to our source energy, to who we really are.
So if you, I right now think about like the listener listening, and what kind of tools and like maybe reflective questions can we give them? Because you were describing love, it feels light.
Yeah.
We were talking about synchronicities, signs from life. You also mentioned solitude, spending time in nature.
Yeah.
What kind of questions could the listener ask themselves to maybe questions that would help them answer their questions, like, am I on the right path here?
Yeah.
Like I can imagine this somewhat, I call it esoteric, spiritual world.
Yeah.
It can be quite overwhelming, this sense of like where to start.
Yeah.
People might have been brave enough to recognize and admit to themselves something's off. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. What could be reflective questions that they could like ponder over?
Yeah, I want to help them in the best way I can. So Have you ever fallen in love?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you when that happened, was it like, okay, I'm going to look at all the pros and cons? What is my brain saying?
No.
Tell me how did that work for you?
No,
falling
it comes
in
to
love?
you.
Yeah.
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 It's actually, I right now have to think about this conversation that I've had with my girlfriends, that the moment that you're like, I right now want to get a boyfriend, you'll never get a boyfriend. You know, it comes when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but energetically, what is it to fall in love? Can you describe that for me?
Well, the first thing that comes up is the most beautiful feeling in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how does your mind respond to that feeling? Does it agree, or does it say, no, this is not a good idea? How does that work?
Well, yeah, it agrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why does it agree?
Because it feels good.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
You have no doubts, right?
Yeah.
You're not like,
true. No, you don't have a doubt.
Yeah, you
no.
don't. You're like, am I really in love or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know you're in love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mind really starts to.
It's a full yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Your mind is not protesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So when you know. So when I had the idea to create the film, I was feeling like and the energy was great. The energy was coming home. The energy was such a great amount of love that I never experienced for an idea. I was really excited. When J.K. Rowling had the idea for the Harry Potter series, she felt such an energy. She's like, "Oh, this is the greatest idea ever." Wizard boy that doesn't know that he's a wizard.
My favorite series
Wizardry
ever.
school.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So she just knew. She saw all the houses. She saw Hogwarts. She saw everything just like a download, and she was super excited. So Paulo Coelho, when he knew he wanted to write, that was the thing that excited him the most. So follow your aliveness. What makes you come alive? That's the most important thing. What makes you come alive? If you can't find that, follow your curiosity. What are you curious about? So this is a combination of following your aliveness and following your curiosity. This very podcast. So that's my biggest tip. Follow your aliveness, follow that thing that makes you come alive. If you you don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Follow what you need to do now. You don't need to know what you need to do tomorrow. You only need to know what you need to do right now. That's living from the now. What excites you right now the most? Follow that. The second thing is, if you can't feel your way to that feeling, what are you curious about? Follow your curiosity.
Okay, so I don't have to know what this podcast exactly is for, like what part of the river it is.
We're just two infinite beings in a body comparing notes. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I don't have more answers than you do. We're just pretending that I know something that you don't. But we have the same information because we're both souls. We're both spirits. We're both infinite intelligence. We're just walking each other home and comparing notes.
Yeah. So I'm just like curious about feeling, about alchemy.
Yeah.
So I don't have to know why.
No.
I just have
It
to...
excites you,
Yeah. Like excitement and curiosity.
Yeah. So why do people go to a concert? Are they excited about the music and the artist? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Are you going to ask, why do you like the artist? No, they just feel that they love the artist, right? If people watch this, some people will feel it. Say, oh, this is a great conversation. Baptiste and Anneke, I love it. And other people won't feel it. And that's okay too. Not everybody loves the same music.
Yeah.
Not everybody loves Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
Most people do, but not everyone.
So the answer to the question, how do I get closer to my heart? How do I get from this feeling of something's off to this sense of alignment and flow?
Yeah.
This is a transition and it's different for everyone.
Yes, and the biggest tip is, again, follow your aliveness. And if you can't follow your aliveness, follow your curiosity. And if you don't know what to do, do nothing. Just wait. Just wait. Because you went out of your way. You were fearful and you said, I'm going to let go. I'm going to surrender. And that's exactly going out of your way. And what I mean by that is you said, okay, the personality is not going to do anything. I'm just going to allow it. And that's when the soul can do its work for you. You are being done, actually.
Yes, but I did call like 10 podcast producers.
And why did you do that? Were you excited, or how did it feel to call all these people? Was it an interesting journey energetically?
Well, it's interesting. Right now, like, I hear the coin dropping. Like, I was calling so many people, but it was from a place of despair.
Okay.
And the people that I did not call are here today. Yeah.
So how did they get here then, if you didn't call them?
Someone else, it was like through this mutual friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. They came to me.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you a little story. So when I was doing the production of The Power of the Heart, the first 2.5 years were really a mess. And at one point I said, if I don't get a real sign that I'm supposed to do this right now, I'll stop and I go back to being a lawyer.
Quite radical.
Yeah, it was really radical. And I said it, but I said it with 100% conviction. And this is a very important thing. If you want something from the core of your being with 100% conviction and commitment, and if you pray with 100% conviction and commitment, then the universe or the angels or whatever the angels are really extensions of God or of source energy. They will come to your aid. But you cannot say, I would like to have that. No, you have to say, this is really what I want from the core of my being, from my heart and soul. They will come to your aid. So what happened? I said, if I'm really supposed to do this film, then I need a sign right now. Right now. At the same time, when that happened, the doorbell rang, and there was a mailman, and he gave me the magazine Happiness. You know that magazine, yes? And he said, I don't know, but I'm supposed to give this here. That's what he said to me. And I didn't expect that. I was not... I didn't expect that at all, that magazine, because I didn't read the magazine at the time, anything. And at the cover of the magazine, it said in Dutch, "Volg je hart," which means follow your heart. And for me, there was a sign from, baby Jesus himself at that moment. I mean, there
Life
couldn't have been a bigger sign. Yeah. So if you have doubts, then really say, from the core of your being, am I supposed to do this? Give me a sign. Because, angels exist. They do. They really do. They're extensions of God, of source energy. But they only come to your aid when you really mean it, when you really ask for help. And there's so many stories. There's a beautiful story. This really happened. It was in Cokeville in the United States, a town. And there were 2 terrorists that came into the school. And this has been documented. The FBI researched this. The 2 terrorists came into the school with little children. And they wanted to blow up the school. And the teacher said to the children, okay, go sit on your knees and pray, 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 pray. And of course, those children, they were praying like their life depended on it, and because it did. And right before the bomb went off, there were light beings that came through the windows and took all the children out of the building. The bomb went off and all the children were saved. And after this, the police and the FBI, they did an investigation. They said, how is it possible that those children were saved? And all those children, and also the teachers, they testified that they were angels that came into the school and saved them. There's documentaries and movies about this. And there's many cases where we know that something bigger is helping and supporting us.
I'm right now being asked to close off this episode. I think that's a great sign.
Yeah, because this felt like, 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
How long have we been recording for? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to close off this episode.
Yes.
And we are going to dive into a lovely Q&A.
Yes, we will.
I have asked some of the followers on Instagram and the listener, hopefully the future listener of the podcast, to send in some questions.
Yes.
I've informed them that we were recording today. So that's what we're going to do now. But I want to already thank you for this amazing conversation.
Thank you for having me.
And
thank you for having the courage to do this. Yeah.
Thank you, Baptiste.
Thank you.
Let's connect with ourselves and with each other.